Every time I order something from FrSky lately, I'm getting some FrSky stickers. And this is awesome, because I love stickers. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about one of these. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll have seen this box before. Not this particular one, that one's probably in the bin now. But this is a FrSky flight controller. The previous one was, I can't remember the number, it was the F3 flight controller with the built-in XSR. This is also an F3 flight controller, so what we're going to do is go through the differences. I guess first off we should probably pull it out of the box. So FrSky give it to you in this lovely silver wrapper, and these are the other things you get in the box. Now I'm going to go through these first because this is actually pretty awesome. You get a bunch of little servo headers, which I really don't care about because I'm not going to be using those, so we'll get rid of them. You get a whole bunch of them. I know some people like using those, and these have got through holes, so you can use these quite nicely. Ooh, put them back in the box so I don't lose them. They give you an XT60 connector. No idea why. There's no cables attached to this, but that's really nice of them to give you a battery connector. And they also give you these little rubber grommets. This is the main reason I wanted to go through this bit first. This is something I've hoped that flight control manufacturers, or flight controller manufacturers, would start to include on a regular basis. And it's really nice to see FrSky doing this. They didn't do it with the other flight controller they've got, but they have done it on this one. Hopefully they'll do it going forward on all the others, because that's a really nice thing. So we will pop these over here as well so that I don't lose them. That all goes back in the box. That leaves us with this. In this magic bag is a board, which you might just be able to see. That looks pretty big for a flight controller. But this is sealed, so what I will do is open it. Alright, now that I've got it open, there were two things in the bag. There was this, which is the flight controller, and an instruction manual. I'm not going to really bother going through the instruction manual, because why would I bother doing that? If you buy one of these, you'll end up being able to read it yourself. But it's pretty basic. It just goes through how to bind the thing. So as I said, this is an F3 flight controller from FrSky. It follows the same idea of the other one in that it's got an XSR built in, hence the two antennas. But you'll notice it's quite a bit bigger than a normal flight controller. I think I have a normal flight controller around here somewhere. Yes, I've still got the CL Racing flight controller. So this is another one that gives you those lovely little grommets. If I can get it out of the box without destroying everything, open it the right way and it will come out of the box. So this is a normal flight controller, and you'll notice this one is quite a bit bigger. However, the hole spacing is the same, so it's difficult to see, but there we go. Actually, what I might do is I might just zoom the camera in a little bit so it's easier to see. There we go, that's a bit better. This camera doesn't have an autofocus, so I actually have to stop recording to get it to focus when I rezoom. We'll hopefully be getting a new camera soon. So yeah, this is a normal flight controller. This is the CL Racing board that I haven't actually put in anything yet. But just to scale, those are the two scales. So I'll get rid of that because that's not what this review is about. I've already done a review on that, or already done a look on that, which I will put up in the corner. I can't remember which corner it is. Wherever, I think it's this bit here. But yeah, so I'll go through the other board. So the other FrSky flight controller was pretty much an all-in-one. Well, it wasn't an all-in-one board, but it was a flight controller and receiver combined into one board. That gave you the advantage that you didn't need to cable up your receiver, you didn't need to cable up your smart port. It was already just working, and it simplified a whole bunch of things. The main downside with that board that I had is you have to feed it a 5-volt supply. It wasn't a particularly big problem for where I was using it because I had a 5-volt supply coming off of the ESCs, so it worked out alright. But potentially you could be in a situation where you have to put a PDB in just to give it a 5-volt supply. This board solves that problem. It will take battery in off of these 2 pins here. That's why you get an XT60. I think it's a good idea just to solder the XT60 onto this, but technically it would fit. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be soldering an actual cable. Yeah, so I'll turn it around to the way it's going to go. So this would be the back. There's an arrow here pointing to the front. So what it's got is battery in, your 4 motor connections in the corners. You also have a positive and negative on each motor connection, and a built-in receiver and an F3 flight controller. So if I turn it over, that there tells me it's got a current sensor, which is great. And here's the pin outs for the pins across the top. So all of the things that it does are across the top here. So you've got a video in and a video out. So this has OSD on board as well. So you can just feed your video off your camera into the board and then off the board into your transmitter. It's got, these are the LED settings, connectors. So if you've got fancy LEDs across the back of your quad, you can plug them into this and it will do them. That'll be great. It's got an S-port connector, so I'm guessing if you've got separate S-port sensors, you can cable those into this. I'm guessing FrSky just put that on there because they put it on everything. I can't honestly think what you do with that on this board. And these are the buzzer connectors here. And as I said before, you've got motor 1, 2, 3 and 4, so signal 1, signal 2, signal 3, signal 4, with a positive and negative for each one. So you would run your signal and your ESC connectors off of the appropriate corners. In addition to that, they do an F3 and an F4 version of this, and the reason I got the F3 is you have a UART connector right here. There's a car. So there's a UART connector right here. The F4 board didn't appear to have that. I could be wrong. It just wasn't obvious on the data sheet whether it had a UART or not. So I got the F3 board because F3s are fine. One thing the F3 board does have that the F4 doesn't is it also has this pads here. You've got 5, 6, 7 and 8. That actually means you've got 8 PWM outputs for ESC. So if you were running a hexcopter or an octocopter, you could technically run them off of this board as well. I'm not sure how the power output would go because there's no power output there, and fairly sure you can't put 400 amps through this thing. But either way, you've got the extra 4 there for up to 8 motors. Yeah, it's got the SD card for black box recording, which is also really nice. And as I said before, it's got a built-in XSR. That's pretty much it. So all in all, this looks like it's going to be an all-in-one board. The only real downside with this over a normal flight controller with power input is its size. It is bigger. You won't be able to fit this in some quads. I, however, am planning on putting it in this quad, which is an Armatan F1 5-inch, which looks really big on the screen at the moment. And while I've got this is going to fit easily. The posts are here, so no problems with it in this particular quad, which was the point of me getting it. I'm rebuilding this. I actually have 2 of these frames. This was one I've never used, and I'm going to be rebuilding the other one as well. So the other one had an Armatan flight controller in it, just an F1. And F1s are now basically end of life. They're not going to be supported in the new versions of Betaflight, so I thought I'd upgrade it all to an F3. I really used to like flying by F1s. They're big, tough, heavy, and can take a hit. So you can fly them into trees and they don't really care. Yeah, so that was just a quick look at this flight controller and an overview of its, I guess, specs. I'm, as I said, going to be putting this in a quad at some point. I've got most of the parts. I still need to get the cameras and the video transmitters for the F1, but I've got the rest of the parts. So once that's up, well, once that's done, I'll put a video up on the build for that. I'm still not sure what video I'm going to do. Oh, I nearly forgot something. So this isn't mentioned anywhere, but this board seems to have like a coating of some sort on it. All the chips are covered in this. It's kind of a smooth, plasticky coating. All the chips and components seem to be covered in it. I'm kind of wondering whether that's going to make it slightly water resistant. The pads themselves aren't, which is good because you want to solder onto those, but everything else is. Yeah, that was the one thing I forgot. Not really a big deal, but yeah. So yeah, that's it for this video. It was just going to be a quick overview of this board and a quick heads up that I've got one. I will, as I said, be doing a build video shortly. Well, maybe not shortly, but I will be doing a build video at some point, including this board. So hang around for that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. This is despite me rambling on for probably almost 10 minutes now. Maybe think about subscribing if you don't mind me rambling on for almost 10 minutes a video. I generally just go through equipment as I get it. And yeah, thanks very much for watching.